It's easy to take people at face value. When a woman tells you, "I'm not interested," or "we're just friends," most men take that as gospel. And on the surface, that's what mature people should do. Respect what someone says and move on. But if you're paying close attention, you'll realize something deeper. Sometimes what a woman says is out of sync with what she does. And when her actions start contradicting her words, that's your first sign she's craving you, even if she's hiding it. Psychologically, we have to understand that words are part of our conscious mind. They're filtered through social expectations, fear, pride, or uncertainty. But behavior? Behavior is often the truth. The subconscious reveals what the ego is trying to hide. So when a woman is secretly craving you, her deeper desires will begin to show through small, consistent behavioral cues, even when her mouth is saying the opposite. She might insist she only sees you as a friend, but then text you late at night. She might say she's not looking for anything, but constantly seeks your validation, your attention, your time. She offers emotional intimacy without ever labeling it. She finds reasons to engage you, check in on you, share pieces of her life, and yet maintains the verbal boundary that nothing is happening. That contradiction isn't accidental. It's inner conflict. Now, here's the part most men miss. Craving doesn't always come with confidence. A woman can deeply desire you and still resist admitting it to herself. Why? Because admitting it means risking rejection, vulnerability, or surrendering control. Many women have been taught to value emotional restraint as power, to never reveal first, to never chase. So instead of expressing desire directly, it leaks out sideways through actions that don't align with the script she's trying to follow. And this is where you, as a man, have to mature emotionally. You must learn to listen to more than just her words. That doesn't mean projecting fantasies onto her. It means being observant. It means asking, why is she still here? Why is she investing so much time and emotional energy if she truly doesn't care? And once you see the contradiction, you don't confront it. You simply note it, because it's not your job to call her out. It's your job to stay centered and see clearly. Philosophically, this speaks to the ancient idea that truth is often buried beneath appearance. Plato described the visible world as shadows on a wall. The real essence lies deeper. Her behavior is the deeper truth. Her words may be the shadow, shaped by fear, ego, or strategy. So when you encounter contradiction, don't chase, don't question, and don't beg for clarity. Let her actions reveal her. Because if she's craving you, she won't be able to help herself. And if she's hiding it, the conflict between her words and actions will only grow. Desire that is suppressed doesn't disappear. It expresses itself indirectly. Learn to read the silence between the words. That's where the truth lives. There's a subtle dance that begins to unfold when a woman is drawn to you, one that often bypasses words entirely. And the fascinating part? She may not even be aware she's doing it. It's the phenomenon of mirroring. Not in the romantic, poetic sense, but in the deeply psychological and biologically wired kind of way. When a woman is craving you but hiding it, one of the first subconscious signs is that she begins to mirror your energy. This isn't something dramatic. It's subtle, almost unnoticeable. But if you're paying attention, you'll see it. She starts using phrases you use. She picks up your rhythm of speech, maybe even your hand gestures or expressions. Her emotional tone adjusts when yours does. She leans in when you lean in. She responds to your mood without knowing why. That's not coincidence. That's resonance. From a psychological standpoint, mirroring is a natural human behavior. It's rooted in empathy and rapport. But in attraction, it gets amplified. Our brains are wired to sync with those we're emotionally invested in. So when she begins echoing your energy, when her vibe aligns with yours, it's a clear sign that she's feeling connected. And connection, especially the unspoken kind, is often the bridge to desire. Now, what makes this particularly powerful is that this mirroring doesn't come from strategy. It's not calculated. In fact, when a woman is hiding her feelings, she may consciously try to stay composed, detached, or cool. But the body keeps score, and the subconscious keeps revealing. The more aligned she becomes with your energy, the more evidence you're seeing that something internal is stirring, something she may not yet be ready to say out loud. It's in the little things. She laughs when you laugh, even when the joke isn't that funny. She shifts in her seat when you do. She mirrors your texting rhythm. Slow when you're slow, fast when you're responsive. She responds emotionally, in sync, almost like she's following your internal lead, and this synchronicity becomes her way of staying close without fully exposing herself. But here's the catch. Just because she's mirroring doesn't mean she's ready to act on her craving. It means she feels something, yes, but she's still navigating the safety of that feeling. She's assessing whether she's safe to express it, whether you're emotionally grounded enough to hold it, whether you're even interested. So mirroring is the bridge, not the destination. This is why emotional maturity matters. You don't use this knowledge to manipulate or play games. You use it to stay aware, to stay centered, to respond with calm observation, not overreaction. When a woman starts reflecting your energy, she's saying something her words can't. And if you're wise, you'll see it, acknowledge it quietly, and hold your frame. You don't need to chase what's already leaning toward you. You just need to be clear enough to recognize it. Because when desire starts to mirror desire, the truth always finds a way to surface. One of the most misunderstood signs that a woman is craving you, yet trying to hide it, is emotional reactivity. When we think of desire, we often imagine softness, flirtation, or affection. But sometimes, especially when that desire is repressed or denied, it doesn't come out tender. It comes out turbulent. So, let's break this down. If a woman says she's not into you, says she's over you, says you're just whatever to her, yet gets upset when you don't reply quickly, or seems strangely irritated when you talk to another woman, or throws subtle jabs when you express independence, there's something deeper going on. Emotional reactivity is a signal that your presence affects her strongly. But here's the catch. Just because she's mirroring doesn't mean she's ready to act on her craving. It means she feels something, yes, but she's still navigating the safety of that feeling. She's assessing whether she's safe to express it, whether you're emotionally grounded enough to hold it, whether you're even interested. So mirroring is the bridge, not the destination. This is why emotional maturity matters. You don't use this knowledge to manipulate or play games. You use it to stay aware, to stay centered, to respond with calm observation, not overreaction. When a woman starts reflecting your energy, she's saying something her words can't. And if you're wise, you'll see it, acknowledge it quietly, and hold your frame. You don't need to chase what's already leaning toward you. You just need to be clear enough to recognize it. Because when desire starts to mirror desire, the truth always finds a way to surface. That internal tug of war between desire and denial creates friction, and that friction spills out in ways she might not even fully understand. She may not know why she suddenly pulls back when things feel good between you. She may not know why she picks fights, or why she becomes defensive or even emotionally cold. These are not signs of lack of interest. They are signs of internal conflict. Her emotions are trying to override her logic, and in that tension, she lashes out, shuts down, or becomes inconsistent. Psychologically, this is known as cognitive dissonance. It's the discomfort we feel when our behavior doesn't align with our internal truth. If she's attracted to you, but has reasons, personal, social, or even pride-driven, to suppress that attraction, her behavior becomes unstable. Her emotions swing because she's trying to maintain control while her instincts rebel. Now, this is where maturity is critical. Most men misread this. They take her moodiness or coldness as rejection and either chase harder or walk away confused. But here's what a grounded man understands. Emotional reactivity isn't always about you. It's about what she's feeling within herself in response to you. And your job isn't to fix it or feed it, it's to observe it with calm awareness. You see, when you trigger strong emotions in someone, positive or negative, it means you matter. If you were truly insignificant, she wouldn't flinch. But when she's emotionally triggered by little things, your silence, your boundaries, your presence, it means you've struck a nerve. And that nerve is usually tied to desire she's not ready to admit. This is not a call to play games. It's a call to see clearly, to understand that her reactivity is communication, not through words, but through energy. And instead of chasing the approval or reacting to the chaos, you stand still and let her emotional storm reveal the truth. Because desire that cannot be spoken often screams in silence or in overreaction. So the next time she gets unreasonably upset or suddenly cold, don't panic. Don't personalize it. Just know you've touched something deep. And craving has a way of shaking the calmest of waters when it's been buried too long. There's a pattern that many men overlook, not because they're blind, but because they've been taught to only value directness. But attraction, especially when it's hidden, rarely moves in straight lines. It curves, it hesitates, it disguises itself. And one of the clearest signs that a woman is craving you, but doesn't want to show it, is that she keeps finding reasons to be around you. Reasons that don't quite make sense on the surface. She'll say it's casual, that she was just in the area, that she forgot something, that she needed help with something minor, her phone, a ride, some advice she probably didn't need. At first, it might feel coincidental, harmless. But over time, the pattern reveals itself. She's always orbiting, always finding ways to insert herself back into your atmosphere, no matter how much distance she claimed she wanted. This isn't just convenience, it's strategy, often unintentional. See, when a woman is hiding desire, she won't necessarily say she wants to see you. That would require vulnerability, exposure, risk. But proximity? That's safe. Proximity allows her to stay close enough to feel your energy without crossing the line of confession. And this is how craving camouflages itself. In errands, check-ins, or casual interactions that always seem to happen by chance. But if you look deeper, there's nothing accidental about it. Because desire, when repressed, still seeks expression. It looks for doorways that don't look like doorways. It disguises itself as coincidence, but it's magnetic. She's drawn back to you because she hasn't emotionally let go. And even if her pride won't admit it, her presence is the evidence. Now, this is where discernment is key. Don't assume every interaction is about you, but don't ignore the rhythm. Frequency speaks volumes. If she keeps showing up in places she knows you'll be, keeps initiating contact for non-essential reasons, keeps orbiting your life long after you've stepped back, she's not over it. She may not be ready to admit it, but she's trying to stay close to the fire without getting burned. What you have to understand as a man is this: craving often seeks permission. She's testing the emotional temperature, testing whether it's safe to let the guard down, and staying near you is her way of keeping that option alive without risking rejection. But your power isn't in calling it out, it's in observing it without feeding it. You don't need to chase someone who keeps circling back. You just need to hold your center and let her behavior speak louder than her excuses. Because when a woman wants to be near you without a clear reason, There's always a reason. And when that craving is real, it doesn't walk away. It finds a way to linger, to hover, to hope. So the next time she pops up out of nowhere or creates another reason to stay in touch, don't get flattered or confused. Get focused. Her proximity is the confession her pride won't allow. Let her reveal it. One coincidence at a time. When a woman is craving you, but trying to keep it hidden, one of the clearest giveaways isn't in how she treats you directly, but in how she responds to the presence of other women around you. You'll notice it in the subtle shifts. Her tone tightens, her questions become a little more pointed, and her energy changes the moment another woman enters your orbit. That's not accidental. That's curiosity laced with unspoken tension. Now, she might mask it well. She'll ask about the new woman at work or pretend to joke about the girl who commented on your post. She may even act nonchalant, as if it's no big deal. But listen closely. Look at the pattern. It's not the question itself. It's the intensity behind it, the frequency, the way her attention spikes the moment another woman gets near you emotionally or physically. That's not just interest. That's emotional possession disguised as casual curiosity. From a psychological standpoint, this behavior stems from a mix of comparison and emotional territory. Craving, especially when repressed, doesn't want to be replaced. Even if she's pretending she's not interested, even if she left, even if she insists she's moved on, when another woman comes close, it activates a primal response. Suddenly she's wondering if the door she left open is now closed, if someone else has access to the parts of you she once touched or still wants to. And here's where emotional intelligence plays a critical role. Most men get flattered by this attention. They think, she must still like me. And while that may be true, what matters more is understanding the why behind her reaction. She isn't reacting to the woman. She's reacting to what that woman represents. Your value being seen by someone else. Your presence, your energy, your masculine essence, now potentially shared. Philosophically, this brings us to the concept of reflective desire. Often, people only recognize the depth of their desire when they see someone else desiring the same thing. It acts as a mirror, a trigger. And suddenly, what was suppressed becomes urgent. She may have told herself she doesn't want you, but the moment someone else steps in, that narrative starts to collapse. So she gets curious. She starts watching. Maybe even subtly competing, even if she pretends not to care. And in those moments, her hidden craving breaks through. Because genuine indifference doesn't ask questions. It doesn't notice. It doesn't flinch. But again, this isn't a cue for you to chase. It's a cue to remain grounded. Don't use her jealousy as validation. Use it as confirmation of what you already sensed, that she still feels something. And your power is in not reacting emotionally. Stay composed, stay detached. Let her curiosity speak louder than her words. Because when a woman starts watching who has your attention, she's already admitting, without saying it, that she wishes it were still hers. Let her curiosity be her confession. You just keep showing her what she walked away from. One of the most subtle but psychologically telling signs that a woman is craving you, while doing her best to hide it, is when she begins to mirror your energy, your habits, your phrases, even your lifestyle shifts, but presents it all as if it's completely unrelated to you. She'll act like it's just coincidence, like she's on her own path of growth or exploration. But when you step back and observe, the synchronicity becomes too consistent to ignore. This isn't about imitation in the superficial sense. It's about energetic alignment. She might start dressing slightly differently, not drastically, but in a way that seems more in tune with your preferences. She may post content that reflects things you've recently talked about. She might suddenly get into the same kind of books, music, or routines you're into without ever mentioning you were the influence. That's not by chance. That's a form of subconscious bonding. Mirroring, from a psychological standpoint, is an instinctive behavior rooted in connection. When we desire someone, especially when we're trying to keep that desire under wraps, we often adopt elements of their persona to feel closer to them without crossing emotional boundaries. It's subtle, sometimes even unconscious, but it's real and it's powerful. This is why emotional congruence matters. A woman craving you, but afraid to admit it, will express her desire in ways that don't require her to be vulnerable. Mirroring your energy becomes her way of maintaining closeness without putting herself in a position to be rejected. She's not ready to say, "I miss you," but she might post a quote that sounds like it came from your last conversation. She won't say, "I'm thinking of you," but you'll notice her online at the same times, watching the same content, moving in sync with your rhythm. And when you call it out, if you ever do, she'll deflect, laugh it off, say you're reading too much into it. But deep down, she knows. She feels the pull. The imitation isn't mockery, it's longing. It's a quiet echo of her inner world trying to match yours, hoping maybe, just maybe, you'll notice without her having to say it. Philosophically, this mirrors the ancient idea that resonance precedes connection, that when two people are emotionally aligned, their energies begin to move in tandem, even without words. And when that resonance is hidden, it doesn't disappear. It just disguises itself in behavior, in patterns, in coincidences that aren't really coincidences at all. So what do you do with this knowledge? You observe. You stay grounded. You don't confront or chase or try to force clarity, because the truth doesn't need to be forced. It reveals itself over time through the quiet repetition of patterns too consistent to ignore. When a woman starts echoing your energy, mimicking your rhythm, moving in step with your inner world while pretending not to notice, it's not coincidence. It's a confession, whispered through action rather than words. The question is, are you paying attention? Because hidden craving doesn't announce itself, it reflects.